Shri Shri Radha Vinod Bihari Ju ki jai, Shri Govinda Gopinath Madan Mohan Ju ki jai, Nitya Lila Pravishtam Vishnupad Ashutara Shata Shishimar Bhakti Vedanta Narayan Gosvāmī Mahārāja Śrīla Gurudeva ki jai, Nitya Lila Pravishtam Vishnupad Ashutara Shata Shishimar Bhakti Vedanta Vaman Gosvāmī Mahārāja ki jai, Nitya Lila Pravishtam Vishnupad Ashutara Shata Shishimar Bhakti Vedanta Swāmī Mahārāja Śrīla Prabhupāda ki jai, Nitya Lila Pravishtam Vishnupad Ashutara Shata Shishimar Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Gosvāmī Mahārāja ki jai, Nitya Lila Pravishtam Vishnupad Ashutara Shata Shishimar Bhaktisiddhānta Sarasvatī Gosvāmī Prabhupāda ki jai, Svāparshad Śrīla Prabhupāda ki jai, Nitya Lila Pravishta Mahābhagavāt Śrīla Gaura-kiśora Bābājī Mahārāja ki jai, Nitya Lila Pravishta Śrīla Satchidananda Bhakti Vinod Ṭhākura ki jai, Nitya Lila Pravishta Vaiṣṇava Sarvabhauma Śrīla Jagannath Das Bābājī Mahārāja ki jai, Shri Rupa Anuga Gauriya Guru Varga ki jai, Shri Rupa Sanatan Bhatta Raghunath, Shri Jīva Gopala Pata Darshanaghunath Sharda Gosvāmī Prabhu ki jai, Shri Sarup Damodar Rai Ramanandari Shri Gaur Parshada Vrinda ki jai, Namacharya Śrīla Haridas Ṭhākura ki jai, Prem se kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki jai, Shri Kshetra Mandala Gaura Mandala Vraja Mandala Mathura Vrindavan Dham ki jai, Sarva Abhishta Pradata Giriraj Maharaj ki jai, Shri Radha Kunda Shama Kunda ki jai, Shri Yamuna Devi Ganga Devi ki jai, Shri Tulsi Maharani Vrinda Devi ki jai, Shri Bhakti Devi ki jai, Shri Purnamasi Yoga Maya ki jai, Shri Gopeshwar Mahadev ki jai, Shri Nitya Lila Pravishtam Vishnupad Ashutara Shata Shishimar Śrīla Bhakti Dayit Madhav Gosvāmī Mahārāja ki jai, Tadiya Shubha Avirbhav Titi ki jai, Nitya Lila Pravishta Mahābhagavāt Śrīla Gaura-kiśora Bābājī Mahārāja ki jai, Tadiya Shubha Tirubhav Titi ki jai, Shri Uttana Ukarashi Titi ki jai, Shri Bhishma Panchak ki jai, Shri Kartik Vrat ki jai, and for some people, Kartik Vrat Samapti Divas ki jai, Shri Harinam Sankirtan ki jai, Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Shri Ras Panchadhyayi ki jai, Sarva Vraja Devi Gan ki jai, Shri Urjeshwari Shri Vrishabhanunandini Shrimati Radha Thakurani ki jai, Shri Harinam Sankirtan ki jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai, Shri Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol. Hari Bol, everybody. Shri Yashoda Damodar ki jai, Shri Radha Damodar ki jai. So, Hari Bol, everybody. So, actually, right now, this is the previous day, because tomorrow I'm going to be going on parikrama. Today I'm doing the big side of the parikrama, Govardhan parikrama, and tomorrow I'll do the other half. So that's why I'm pre-recording this video so that we don't have such a long gap without any readings. So now I'm going to read a little bit of Srimad Bhagavatam, and then afterwards I will read from about Śrīla Bhakti Dayita Madhav Gosvāmī Mahārāja and Śrīla Gaura-kiśora Bābājī Mahārāja. And I think I'm going to, actually maybe I'll record separately for Śrīla Bhakti Dayita Madhav Gosvāmī Mahārāja, because then it's not rushed or anything, and we can read something nice. So, all right, let's begin. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Radhikaya Priyatmane Shri Srimad Bhakti Vedanta Narayaniti Namine. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Namo mahavadanyaya Krishna prema pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratishe Namaha Guruve Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Itadalaye Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tarbhaktaya Namo Namaha Yang Pravrajantam Anupetam Apeta Krityam Dvaipayano Virahaka Tara Ajuhava Putreti Tanmayataya Taravo Bhinedus Tang Sarva Bhuta Hridayam Munimanatosmi Narayanam Namaskritya Narang Chaiva Narottamam Devim Sarasvatim Vyāsam Tato Jayamudirayet Shrinvatang Svakatha Krishna Punya Shravana Kirtana Hridantasto Yabhadrani Vidhunoti Suritsatam Nashta Prayeshvavadreshu Nityang Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavatyuttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtaki Tavai Vasmi Na Jivami Tvaya Vina Iti Vigyaya Radhe Tvāgnāyamang Charanantikam Bhaktya Vihina Aparadha Lakshai Kshiptashtaka Ditarangamathe Kripa Maitvam Sharanam Prapanna Vrinde Namaste Charanaravindam Bhaja Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. And just in case you're just coming now and you didn't see what I said before, so today I'm actually doing the second half of Govardhan Parikrama, and that's why I pre-recorded this video. So this is actually recorded the day before. And I will make another video. I'll go live again to read about Śrīla Bhakti Daita Madhav Gosvāmī Mahārāja, whose auspicious appearance day it is today. And but I'm hoping to read something about Gaura-kiśora Bābājī Mahārāja in this video. Actually, you know what? We were supposed to go on Govardhan Parikrama today, and that's why I didn't go live. Today means when you're watching this, it's the previous day. And so that's why I didn't go live. But now I'm still waiting. It was super late, and so that's why I'm just pre-recording this now as I wait to get a call. So any moment I'm going to end this video, and then I'll finish it off later on. But anyhow, yeah, Dandavat Pranams everybody who's joining. And yeah, let's get on with it. Okay. Let's see. So I'll just read previous verses. I'll read from this point on. Okay, so the last gopi. So we heard all the. Well, it mentions 7 different gopis here, who are all in different groups. But the last gopi was Vishaka Devi. So one Braj Devi took Shri Krishna into her heart through the path of her eyes, upon which she closed her eyes and embraced him within. She became immersed in the topmost bliss, and her bodily hairs stood on end, just like a perfected yogi having obtained his worshipful supersoul in meditation. And then this is a long commentary by Srila Jīva Gosvāmī. Okay. Seeing their beloved Keshav, the gopis experienced a great festival of bliss, and were liberated from the anguish of separation, just as people become free from the pangs of material existence upon receiving the association of a great devotee of Bhagavan. O Parikshit, Bhagavan Sri Achyuta, situated in his Satchidananda form and ever possessed of divine beauty and sweetness, is looking even more attractive today, being surrounded by the gopis, who were relieved from their distress of separation. Thus adorned, Krishna appeared just like the Supersoul, encircled by his intrinsic potencies. The one and only all-powerful Sri Krishna, looking very beautiful and charming, accompanied the cowherd damsels to the extremely delightful bank of the Yamuna. There the gentle breeze was blowing, carrying the fragrance of the kunda and mandara blossoms, and the riverbank was reverberating with the humming of the bumblebees, intoxicated from the sweet smell of nectar. The autumn full moon diffused its splendid rays and dispelled the darkness of the night, thus making the whole atmosphere auspicious. With her hands like waves, Sri Yamuna piled up soft sand on her shore, creating the stage for Krishna's sweet Leela. Those Vrajdevis became overjoyed to receive Sri Krishna's audience. Transcendental bliss illuminated their hearts, and thus all their heartache was completely washed away. Just as the personified Vedas become totally satisfied when they receive the direct audience of Bhagavan, similarly, all the gopis' heartfelt yearnings were fulfilled. Using their veils, which were colored with the saffron powder from their breasts, they arranged a seat for their intimate friend Sri Krishna, who is dearer to them than their own souls. Still waiting. The all-powerful Bhagavan Sri Krishna, the Lord of all lords, for whom the best of mystics affectionately establish a seat in the innermost chambers of their pure lotus hearts, arrived in the assembly of the gopis on the sandy bank of the Yamuna. There he sat on the asana arranged by the cowherd maidens, who then proceeded to worship him as his transcendental body, which is the sole shelter of all the beauty and charm in the three worlds, glowed brilliantly. His transcendental body glowed brilliantly. And this is a very beautiful verse, quoted a few times in Damodarashtakam. Chakasa gopi parishad kotor chitas trailokya lakshmeka padam vapur dadat. It's because Krishna manifests himself in according to the devotee's love for him. And so the gopis who have the most love for Krishna, he exhibited his most beautiful form that is unprecedented, beautiful form. The Vrajdevis in whose hearts Sri Krishna had awakened pure amorous desire by his supernatural nectarian beauty, honored him with their gentle smiles, provocative sidelong glances, and dancing eyebrows. Taking his lotus feet and hands in their laps, they caressed them and became very blissful from his touch. They began to praise his beauty and other qualities, but remembering that he had left them, they felt a bit angry and spoke as follows. The beautiful gopi said, "Hey Krishna, there is one kind of person who gives love only to those who love them. Another kind of person is the opposite. They love even when those do not reciprocate their love. A third type is one who does not love either those who love them or who are indifferent to them. O beloved, explain to us these three types of persons and tell us whom you consider the best." And so that's where we read up to yesterday, and now we read from this verse on. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Mito bhajanti ye sakhya svartai kanto dhyanmahite na tatra sohridam dharma svarthartam tadhinanyata. Bhagavan Sri Krishna said, "My dear Sakhis, one type of person shows love only when receiving love. Such a person is selfish, interested only in his own profit. he cannot act as a true friend, and he has no inner sense of duty or morality. His loving behavior is actually self-centered, and other than that, he has no other purpose. Śrīla Gaura-kiśora, Bhāvārtha Dīpikā. Bhagavan Shri Krishna, knowing the Vrajdevi's intention, answers with this verse Mitho. O Sakis, some persons respect or love each other only in hope of gaining something. They have no regard for anyone else except themselves. The reason for this is that their every endeavor is for their self-interest. Such a person's so-called love has no good-heartedness or any principles. Thus it yields no happiness. For example, those who look after cows and buffaloes do so only to get milk for their own comfort. Their regard for others is like this. Śrīla Jīva Gosvāmī Vaiṣṇava Toṣaṇī. Self-interest is of two types. 1, visible, directly receiving wealth and opulence, and 2, invisible, the hope of reaching heavenly happiness, etc. Srimad Bhagavatam 11.2.6 states, the demigods reciprocate accordingly in whatever way the people worship him. Just as cows and buffaloes bestow their milk upon those who maintain them, similarly, the demigods provide material wealth, heaven, and other such gifts to their worshippers when pleased with the fire sacrifices, the yagyas that they offer them. Those who do a favor for, now, this is Krishna speaking now, right? Yeah. Those who do a favor for someone, anticipating a favor in return, do so only for their own benefit. All their activities are based on selfishness. In such love, there is no real friendship or morality. Although religious behavior, dharma, and friendship are praiseworthy, when used to accomplish some selfish desire, they become despicable. Dharma is counted among the 4 goals of human life. Yet when it is done with the aim of earning money to fulfill one's material desires under the cover of so-called loving exchanges, the friendship is actually full of deceit, and the whole business becomes contemptible. This is the intention. This statement is confirmed by the use of the word he, certainly. Now again, Krishna is saying, the mutual exchanges that I have explained cannot be anyata in any other way. Cannot be anyata in any other way. Anyata means in any way. That is, they cannot be without duplicity or selfishness. In these exchanges, there is definitely no real dharma or friendship free from duplicity. They are based on accomplishing one's personal interests. Whatever I have said is completely true. There is not a touch of falsity in my explication. Explication? Okay, the process of analyzing and developing an idea or principle in detail. The reason is, Sakya, you are my girlfriends. I am speaking to you with this mood of friendship. Therefore, there is absolutely nothing untrue in it. The Vrajdevis might object. You also love us with the mood of selfishness. To remove this doubt, Shri Krishna mentions his natural intimacy with them by addressing them as He Sakya, O my most confidential lady friends. Everything else follows the commentary of Śrīdhara Swāmīpāda. Śrīdhara Swāmīpāda says, due to lack of true friendship in this love, it affords no happiness. The purport of this is that although it brings the visible satisfaction that comes with obtaining wealth, it lacks real affection. Therefore, virtuous people do not regard such happiness as substantial. Any such so-called happiness is imaginary, and there is no statement further ahead supporting it. Many commentators, such as Chitsuka, have accepted the word svartartham in place of svatmanam. There's a footnote here. Our version uses svartarnam, but Śrīla Jīva Gosvāmī Pada's version obviously used svatmanam. If we accept this reading, then the meaning will be: one may see that love One may see the love that is mentioned in this verse to be directed to another, but actually it is self-centered. Everything else is clear. Srila Viśvanātha Chakravartī Thakur's Sārārtha Darśinī. Understanding the gopis' intention, Sri Krishna answers their first question with this verse beginning with Mita. There are some who show love in the expectation of receiving a favor in return. Such people are selfish, all their endeavors being focused on obtaining immediate and future results for their own self-interests, swartha. Certainly, such people love only themselves and no one else. They do not know any other kind of love, their conduct being rooted in personal gain. Such selfish persons have no love or sympathy for others. Looking at the meaning of the next verse, one can understand that the mutual regard between such people cannot be counted as dharma, religious behavior. In some books, the word swatmartham is seen, but the meaning remains the same. Once again, cannot is one word. Bhajantya bhajato ye vai karuna pitaro yatha dharmo nirapavadotra sohridam cha sumadhyama. O slender-waisted maidens, the second type, compassionate persons and parents, give love and affection even without being loved in return. Their selfless, unblemished love comes out from their adherence to religious principles. Thus, they are true well-wishers. Srila Śrīdhara Swāmī's Bhāvārtha Dīpikā. Persons who love even those who do not love them are of two types: the compassionate and the affectionately attached. But the first type is possessed of a sense of duty, dharma, and the second type, mother and father, is under the sway of personal desire, kam. This is explained in this verse, bhajantya bhajato. Srila Jīva Gosvāmī's Vaiṣṇava Toṣaṇī. Here the word vai has been used to indicate prasiddhi, renown. Persons who love despite not being loved in return are of two types: compassionate personalities and parents. The word cha, and, has not been used after pitaro, mother and father, yet it should be accepted. Only such love has faultless, nirapavad, that means faultless, religiosity and heartfelt friendship. The address sumadhyama, O beautiful damsels, has been used to imply that the gopis alone are endowed with all good qualities. Among all qualities, this great characteristic of loving those who do not love in return brilliantly shines forth in you. Indeed, you are the immaculate example of this. Sri Krishna's intention in speaking these words should be understood thus. The Vraj Devis should love me in the same way. This in fact shows the dexterity of Krishna's speech, of Sri Krishna's speech. Everything else is per Śrīdhara Swāmī's commentary. The previous verse describes those people who are selfish in their loving dealings. Their friendship and religiosity are tainted. The present verse tells about those persons whose love is selfless and without any expectations. The examples of this are benevolent persons and parents. By nature, benevolent persons are highly moral and devoted to helping others. These are the special qualities seen clearly in altruistic people. Parents, on the other hand, follow household duties in rearing their children. They adhere to dharma, but of an ordinary nature. Srila Viśvanātha Chakravartī Thakur's Sārārtha Darśinī. In answer to the second question, Sri Krishna speaks about those who love unconditionally. The two examples are compassionate persons and parents, mother and father. Compassionate persons have no relationship with the objects of their mercy, while parents are related to their children. Merciful personalities are the pure devotees, such as Prahlad, who bestow their causeless grace. In these two examples, there is no expectation of anything in return. Even if the other party does not honor them, still they feel distress in the other's misery and happy in his pleasure, and they maintain this loving attitude to the ends of their lives. Moreover, the pure devotees feel the pain and pleasure that a mother and father undergo. Out of these two, the first example of benevolent personalities is superior because they have no blood relationship with the objects of their mercy, and the second example of the father and mother is inferior. In both examples, the dharma, the religious duties, is devoid of the desire of results, nirapavad, and is therefore eternal. The same is true for sincere friendship laced with loving, well-wishing sentiments. O sumadhyamas, this is a misspelling mistake. O slender-waisted girls, with this address, Sri Krishna wants to convey an idea indirectly. Oh, 1 second. Haribo? Okay, I'm coming now. ठीक है, मैं आ रहा हूँ. Okay, guys, I have to go now. I just got the call. We're going to go over that now. Let's see how much is left. Okay, I'm just going to finish this and then go. Your madhyama question, I don't know how you say that word. What the heck? No, it should be madhyama. Sorry, that's a spelling mistake. Your middle question is most commendable, Su. Because I condemn the examples in my answer to your first and last questions, it can be understood that those questions are unworthy. You alone are the basis of the answer to this excellent middle question. Only you gopis exemplify this absolute selfless love. Alright, so I'm going to record the rest later on. I'm going now to Govardhan. Hari Bol, everybody. Alright, I'm going to stop this recording now. Hari Bol, everybody. So it's now midnight and I have a lot more things to do. I have to speak a little quietly because there's people sleeping outside of the office, Bengali devotees. So I'm not going to read any more Srimad Bhagavatam because it's late, but I will read an article about Śrīla Gaura-kiśora's Bābājī Mahārāja, written by Śrīla Bhaktisiddhānta Sarasvatī Prabhupāda. And then I'll read about Śrīla Bhakti Diet Madhav Gosvāmī Maharaj later on in the day. Because right now, while you're watching this, I will be on Vrindavan Parikrama. So, alright, let me share my screen. There. Okay, where is it? Where is it? There it is. Okay. So these are excerpts from a glorification of Śrīla Gaura-kiśora's Bābājī Mahārāja on his disappearance day by Śrīla Bhaktisiddhānta Sarasvatī Ṭhākura Prabhupāda. And it's called Śrīla Gaura-kiśora, the Deity of Ideal Renunciation. This appeared in English for the first time in Raise the Harmonist number 23, the Vyāsa-pūjā Edition, 2011. So Śrīla Bhaktisiddhānta Sarasvatī Ṭhākura, he says, my Sri Guru Padma is not a teacher of any of the illusory subjects of this world, which are aimed only at enjoyment. Yet, at the same time, he alone is the indisputable genius in every subject in this world. Sadly, because I am deprived and fallen, because of my own weaknesses, not all of my Guru Padma's teachings have entered my heart. But in order to speak all the teachings that, by my Guru Padma's mercy, have somehow entered through the pathways of my ears, may I possess millions upon millions of tongues, millions upon millions of heads, and millions upon millions of years to live. Then I will be able to sing about the unparalleled compassion and benevolence, the Amando Doya Daya, of my Guru Padma throughout the unlimited universes with millions and millions of tongues and millions of heads for millions and millions of years. Only then will I have truly performed Guru Puja. Only then will he be pleased with me and shower his perpetual blessings upon me, so that I can sing the glory of his matchless compassion with another million tongues. On that day, I will finally be liberated from singing about fleeting illusory matters. On that day, I will be released from the captivity of all mundane teachings of this world. Rupanuga Guru. Considering my favorite worldly topics to be very important and valuable, I accept them deeply into my heart. Thus, I remain madly infatuated with the unconscious world. However, my Gurudev has repeatedly instructed, Shri Chaitanya Mano Bhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam. When will such a master as Sri Rupa, who has propagated and established the deepest desire of Sri Chaitanya Dev's heart throughout the world, personally give me shelter of his own lotus feet? When will I behold Shri Guru Padma's extraordinary transcendental beauty and take shelter single-mindedly at his beautiful feet? When will such a day be mine? I have heard from Shri Guru Padma that those who adopt this mentality are Rupanuga and are therefore very dear to Shri Gaurasundar. And as for those who even endeavor to become Rupanuga, Shri Brahma himself could not finish extolling their good fortune, even if he spent his entire life trying. Shri Guru Padma has eradicated all my doubts and instructed me on the matter of Nam Bhajan. Through this, I came to know that one should not disobey Guru, that is, one should not disobey Shrotavani, the divine message, which descends through the succession of bona fide Gurus. Nor should one regard Guru Bhruva, or so-called Gurus, as worshipful, and thereby disrespect Shri Guru Padma. One should know that without taking refuge of the non-dual absolute truth for Jendranandan, there is no auspiciousness for the living entity. Oh wow, this is a long article. Okay. Give up everything and stay with me. Just want to make sure this is actually still recording. Where is it? Okay, looks like it is. Give up everything and stay with me. My Gurudev, I am audacious to say my Gurudev. Is my heart so qualified that I can utter this? How exalted are even the toenails of my Guru, and where am I, a dwarf on the lowest platform? How can I even serve Guru Padma? While I sleep, I am robbed of Guru Padma's service. At that time, I remain deeply immersed in selfish pleasure, and I spend the rest of my time feeding and dressing myself. Being bereft of service to Guru Padma, I am unqualified, fallen, and weak. Therefore, had he not profusely showered me with his compassion, I would have even more aggressively exploited the very nature of his mercy than I was doing already. My Guru Padma is the ocean of mercy, and even one drop of his mercy can drown me in an ocean of bliss. How merciful was he that he used to say to me, "Your scholarship, your purity, and your aristocracy, give it all up and come stay with me. You will not have to go anywhere else. Whatever you need, a cottage, a house, a mansion, a palace, whatever scholarship and prestige you need, or whatever degree of self-control and renunciation you wish to attain. You will get it all by being here. Just come to me. Do not run here and there, impelled by desires like, I must have a nice home, I must find a good means to achieve material success, and I must become vastly learned. Do not aspire to achieve that what ordinary people value so much. I was a fearsome logician. But out of immense compassion, he kicked my pride aside. Thus he showed me his mercy. If I were to try to find the limit of his mercy, I would not succeed even if I continued searching for unlimited lifetimes. In fact, no one will ever find its limit. I am in no way qualified to introduce myself as his servant. Still, he has suffused me with the hope that I can identify myself as his servant. And through that hope, I can always stay alive. I used to feel that I was drowning in joylessness, nirananda, and that I was absorbed in so many temporary activities. It is clear that I am weak, so I felt that when my Sri Gurudev would disappear, I would go astray, for then I would not be able to hear his teachings. But today, many, many incarnations of Sri Guru Padma have mercifully presented themselves before me. And the footnote says, here Srila Prabhupada refers to his pure disciples, or Sat Shishyas, as incarnations of his Gurudev. They do kirtan in front of me, and they read the Bhagavatam and explain it to me. When they reveal ever-fresh explanations in accordance with my Sri Guru Padma's heart, they bring life back to my dying body. Only because of this, I regain consciousness and attain the good fortune of hearing and speaking Harikatha 24 hours a day, every day. The ideal deity of renunciation. Renunciation is something I had only read about in stories, or had read instructions on in books like Vairagya Shatak, 100 verses regarding renunciation, Shanti Shatak, 100 verses regarding peace, and Moha Mudgara, the hammer that demolishes illusion. But when the mercy of that most compassionate Lord Shri Krishna and of that most compassionate Krishna, Krishna's devotee, when they both fell upon me, the personification of Bhagavan's own renunciation, Vairagya, appeared before me. Although it is not possible for such renunciation to inhabit a human form, I nevertheless had the opportunity to see it in Sri Guru Padma. Yet, despite seeing him, I have somehow remained in the same darkness. My body gives me obstacles, and I am unable to serve Sri Guru Padma 24 hours a day. The deity of ideal renunciation, whom I personally beheld, was not the embodiment of renunciation that merely demolishes illusion, nor of pretentious renunciation, Falgu Vairagya. The renunciation he embodied was replete with the pinnacle of service to Krishna, completely steeped in Mahabhav. May he whose renunciation extends not only to wealth and women, but to personal prestige as well, be my object of worship. I aspired for the lotus feet of such a Sri Guru who would not accept even a single disciple. Still, I presented myself before him and begged for his mercy. He told me, I made one disciple previously, but that disciple cheated me and left, so I have decided not to make any more disciples. Although I was distressed by his reply, I made a firm vow. I will see how many times I am rejected, but without his mercy, I will not venture out into the world. He pulverized my pride. When I came before that very Guru Padma, I could understand by his mercy that what I had considered to be the topmost ideal and the best way of life was to him the lowest of all. Although my ideal was extraordinary compared to the ideals of the people of this world, my Sri Guru Padma showed me one conception that was truly and absolutely transcendent. Prior to this revelation, I had studied many books by impersonalists expounding the idea of neti, a systematic negation of mundane attachments and designations. Now I had found an actual exemplar of it. Sri Guru Padma told me, "The ideal you now seek is not your true ideal." And there's a footnote for neti. It says the phrase na iti, or it is not this, is the answer to the question, is this Brahma? In other words, if someone seeks absolute spirits through empirical investigation, he will inevitably engage in negating all perceivable objects and designations, deeming them non-absolute. So now that he found an actual exemplar of it, Sri Guru Padma told me that the ideal you now seek is not your true ideal. So let me put this into single page view. Did I skip anything? No, I don't think so. Okay, so the ideal you now seek is not your true ideal. I used to think that my Guru Padma's caliber of renunciation was second to none, but that his erudition was somewhat lacking. He pulverized my pride and my book knowledge by the mallet of his mercy, and made me understand that my topmost ideal was in fact the most despicable. When these words of his entered my ears, when I received his mercy, my tiny brain did not have the strength to hold that divine knowledge. He had given an opportunity to a fool and a know-it-all like me to hear such a profound matter. My Guru Padma never became involved in any matter of this world, but he pretended to bestow his mercy upon an unqualified person like me. The renunciation of the world's most renounced personalities cannot compare to even a tiny fraction of 100th part of his renunciation. Śrīla Raghunath Das Goswami Prabhu's renunciation was fully manifest in my Prabhu. If the account of his life is published in the world, if my Guru Varga publishes an account of his transcendental life in simple language and propagates it everywhere, then the entire world will be vastly benefited. My Guru Padma did not only say that one should give up wealth and women, rather he instructed that even the urge to portray oneself as a great saint must be renounced. He was a Bhagavat Paramahamsa. Open your eyes. People say that today is the disappearance day of my Guru Padma. However, I consider that today is his appearance day, and that I may worship him for eternity by glorifying him with 1,000,000 mouths and millions of other senses. Compelled by compassion, my Sri Guru Padma has appeared in this world to bestow mercy upon me. By the coryllium of knowledge, the divine realization that I am the servant of Nanda Nandan. He appeared in this world to bestow upon me the divine realization that I am the servant of Nanda Nandan. That's the collyrium of knowledge. Collyrium is what you put on eyes, right? A kind of dark eyeshadow. Anyways, it opened his eyes to that. Due to my ignorance, I had come to believe that enjoying the objects of the senses was my duty and purpose in life. Thus, I had completely lost sight of my real duty. But my Sri Guru Padma has appeared in this world to dispel the darkness of my ignorance. Unable to see that supreme object which is impossible to see with these eyes that simply obstruct what I am meant to hold in my sight eternally, and unable to see that supreme object which is the only thing worth seeing, All I can see is the sensual veil that covers my eyes. Thus, all I see is sense gratification within this transient world. However, Shri Guru Padma removes the veil from my eyes and grants me true sight by divine knowledge. He pulls away the veil that covers my eyes, slightly parts my eyelids, and instructs me, "Open your eyes and look." For so long I thought I could see with my eyes shut. So I am abandoning my pride and offering namaskar to Shri Guru Padma. This indeed is the ingredient, the arghya of my worship. The act of renouncing the arrogant conception that I am the seer and enjoyer is called the namaskar. When I was nurturing the misconception that I am the doer, Shri Guru Padma opened my eyes and dismissed my notions of reality which were improperly conceived. Driven by some other knowledge, I was following the blind. Guru Padma made me realize that I must not follow the blind, that I must follow Shri Guru Padma, who is possessed of divine vision, and that to worship Shri Guru Padma was my duty. Okay, this is the last section of the article. Service to Shri Guru Padma is the real activity of my being. By Shri Guru Padma's grace, I have developed the conviction that service to him is my one and only duty, and is, in fact, the real activity of my being. And after having darshan of my Guru Padma, the conviction that there is any necessity of doing something other than serving him was totally dispelled. Just to rescue me from the clutches of arrogance, Bhagavan's beloved servant, his most cherished companion, revealed to me the eternal service to Nanda Nandan, for he was overwhelmed by compassion. Only then could I understand that in relation to the living entity's true identity, there is no duty and no source of auspiciousness apart from satisfying the senses of Nanda Nandan. The son of Nanda is the sole object of the living entity's spiritual practice, and attaining him is the one and only goal. And Shri Guru Padma is Nanda Nandan's very dearly beloved. Service to that Guru Padma cannot be performed by inept persons like me, not by body, not by mind, not by words, and not by any other type of instrument. However, Shri Guru Padma infuses me with potency and looks at me with loving eyes. Perhaps if I can obtain his grace, then by his causeless heartfelt mercy, I may achieve the qualification to serve him. I am not speaking theoretically. The day Shri Guru Padma placed his lotus feet, which are unattainable even for the demigods, upon the head of such an undeserving person as me, and bathed me in their dust, was the day I was first able to understand what my supreme auspiciousness was. A spiritual master such as Shri Guru Padma wields the power to give service to the Supreme. May I have the ability to assimilate that awesome mercy. From that day, I certainly sought to receive such incomparable auspiciousness from Shri Guru Padma. Shri Guru Padma is an exclusive servant of the Lord. If I cannot obtain his mercy, if I cannot obtain divine knowledge, then I will not even be able to comprehend the glory of Guru Padma. I won't even be able to comprehend the glory of Guru Padma. Shri Guru Padma is eternal. Shri Guru Padma is eternal. May I not be bereft of his company for even a moment. Within even a moment of time, my bonds with Guru Padma can be broken. So may I never abandon Guru Padma for even 1/11th of a second, enticed by some mundane temptation. May I never cheat myself of my connection to Guru Padma on account of heeding useless advice from worldly people who are fully averse to him. Shri Guru Padma can protect me from all these deceptive perils, so at the beginning of every year, of every month, of every day, and of every moment, it is my duty to worship that Shri Guru Padma. My Gurudev is present in various forms. If he did not exist in so many forms, then who would protect me? Those whom my Gurudev took to be his own are my saviors. But as for those who blaspheme my Guru Padma, or anyone who gives shelter to those who blaspheme him, may those inauspicious wretches never cross the path of my vision. Wow, strong. Beautiful further. At every moment, he draws me to his lotus feet to keep me there. The moment I stray from Guru Padma, the moment I forget Guru Padma, is the moment I verily fall from truth. If I do not remember Guru Padma at the onset of every year, month, day, and moment, I will surely meet with more and more peril. I will desire to be Guru and will adopt the wicked mentality that others ought to call me Guru and worship me. Thus, I will have succumbed to meaningless infatuations, Dvitiya Abhinivesh. So it should not be that I came to perform Guru Puja today. It should be that at every moment we are engaging in an eternal Guru Puja. Wow, amazing. Translated from the Nikat Kala Varti Chara Rupanuga Vaiṣṇava. It's exalted Rupanuga Vaishnavacharyas of present times. It's compiled, translated, and edited by Śrīmad Bhaktivedanta Narayana Gosvāmī Mahārāja, originally published in the Weekly Gaudiya. Alright, so it's now nearly 12:30. I'm gonna just end very quickly here. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Nitai Gaur Hari Bol. I'm going to do a shortened Jaidwani. Jai Shri Sachinandan Gaur Hari Ki Jai. Shri Śrīdhara. Shri Shri Radha Vinod Bihari Ju Ki Jai. Shri Govinda Gopinath Maran Mohan Ju Ki Jai. Nitil Pravishtam Vishnupara Shatara Shishma Bhaktivedanta Narayana Gosvāmī Mahārāja Shri Guru Dev Ki Jai. Nitil Pravishtam Vishnupara Bhaktivedanta Vaman Gosvāmī Mahārāja Ki Jai. Nitil Pravishtam Vishnupara Ashatara Shishma Bhaktivedanta Swāmī Mahārāja Shri Prabhupāda Ki Jai. Nitil Pravishtam Vishnupara Ashatara Shishma Bhaktivedanta Keshav Gosvāmī Mahārāja Ki Jai. Nitil Pravishtam Vishnupāda Ashatara Shishma Bhaktisiddhānta Sarasvatī Gosvāmī Prabhupāda Ki Jai. Nitil Pravishtam Bhagavad Śrīla Gaura-kiśora Bābājī Mahārāja Ki Jai. Tadiya Shubha Tirubhakti Ki Jai. Nitil Pravishta Śrīla Satchidananda Bhakti Vinod Ṭhākura Ki Jai. Nitil Pravishta Vaiṣṇava Sarvabhauma Śrīla Jagannath Das Bābājī Mahārāja Ki Jai. Shri Rupanu Gauriya Guru Bhargava Ki Jai. Shri Rup Sanatana Bhatta Raghunath. Shri Jīva Gopala Patadasha Gunashara Gosvāmī Prabhu Ki Jai. Shri Sarup Damodar Rai Ramanandari Shri Gaur Parashara Ki Jai. Brahmacharya Śrīla Haridas Ṭhākura Ki Jai. Prem Se Gaur Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda. Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Shri Kshetra Mandala Kora Mandala Vraja Mandala Mathura Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai. Sarva Abhishta Bharata Giriraj Maharaj Ki Jai. Radha Kunshama Koni Managama Tulsi Bhakti Devi Ki Jai. Shri Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai. Shri Kartik Vrat Niyam Seva Ki Jai. Kartik Vrat पालन करी भक्त वृंद की जय। और जवरत की जय। और जय श्री श्री विश्वभानुनंदिनी श्रीमती राधा ठाकुरानी की जय। नित्य प्रविष्टम विष्णुपाद रक्षित रक्षित शिष्यमार श्रील भक्ति दायित माधव गोसाई महाराज की जय। तृतीय शुभ आविर्भाव तिथि की जय। श्री हरि नाम श्री हरि नाम संकीर्तन की जाए। अनंत कोटि श्री उत्थान अकादशी तिथि की जाए। अकादशी पालन करे भक्त वृंद की जाए। श्री हरि नाम संकीर्तन की जाए। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जाए। भीष्म पंचक की जाए। श्री निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल। जय वृंदाय तुलसी देवाय प्रियाय केशवाय कृष्ण भक्ति प्रददेवी सत्यवताय नमो नमः। वंशकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। Hello everybody. Sorry. Okay, so I'll see you all later on today. Now I just need to render out this video and then upload it. Hopefully that doesn't take too long. It's 12:30 right now. Anyhow, yeah, I'll see you later on today in the evening time to read the glories of Srila Bhakti Diet Madhava Gosai Maharaj. And also, maybe I want to read this article on Amar Bhajan. That's such an amazing article. Alright. Jai Shri Radhe. And for those of you ending your Chaturmasya Vrat today, your Kartik Vrat today, Jai Ho, Kartik Vrat Samapti Divas Ki Jai.